101 fact
About Sweden!
Let's get started.
Hey motherfactors, jag are Sam, and today I'm here to talk to you all about the Scandinavian sensation, the Nordic nonpareil, the freezing phenomenon that is Sweden. Sweden has contributed so much good to the world, much of it spherical. Confused? Well, I guess you'll have to keep watching to find out what I mean, won't you? But why do Swedish people regularly scream out of their windows? Why does Sweden import rubbish from Norway? And is the Swedish chef the king or president of Sweden? I should really learn more about international politics. Anyway, 2 out of 3 of those questions are going to be answered, so get comfortable on your Stockholm armchair, grab yourself some surströmming and salt licorice, and prepare to be Swedenated right up the Jacksea with 101 facts about Sweden. Mycket bra.
Quick note.
Terrible pronunciation. Me too.
Number 1.
Me.
Sweden, known officially as the Kingdom of Sweden, is a Scandinavian country in Northern Europe. Are you with me so far? Yes, good. The rest of the video would be a bit of a slog if you weren't, frankly. Number 2. Sweden is nicely sandwiched between Norway to the west and north and Finland to the east. Sweden is also connected to Denmark to the southwest by a bridge tunnel across a super narrow strip of water known as the Öresund. Number 3. Sweden is generally divided into 3 distinct regions, which are stacked on top of one another vertically like the sections of a fab.
Fab?
I remember those. The southernmost region is Jutland, Svealand is found in the middle,
Jutland,
and Norrland
Finland,
sits atop the
Norrland.
north. Sorry if I mispronounce anything like that, because, apparently I mispronounce things all the bloody time, according to the comments section. Number 4. At a hefty 450,295 square kilometres, Sweden is the 3rd largest country in the European Union by area.
Really?
Behind Spain in 2nd place and France, which takes the gold medal.
Wow.
Number 5. Sweden.
I'm surprised. Germany.
Yes.
I think because if you, there's not Germany landlocked between a lot of country, I guess.
Yeah, it's not
Maybe.
long.
But I thought in the north or in Denmark, Germany have some water. Maybe they don't own it. I'm not sure. I thought Germany was definitely in the top 3 anyway.
Population of roughly 10 million people. Interestingly, around 2.3 million of those people have a foreign background, meaning that almost a quarter of all Swedes have recent ancestry from outside the country. Number 6.
Is it mostly from other Scandinavian country or like very, very diverse, you know?
Sweden has a pretty low population density of only 22 inhabitants per square kilometre. The highest concentration of people is in the southern half of the country, i.e. most of Jutland and Svealand. Furthermore, roughly 85% of the population of Sweden lives in urban areas.
That's the same in Canada. 70% of Canadians will live near the US border, but we still have a very low population density.
The modern Swedish word for Sweden is Sverige. Sverige, which simply means realm of the Swedes.
I thought it was Sverige. It's Sveria. Or maybe pronounce it wrong.
What is this fruit?
Simple, unlike Ikea instructions.
I don't know. Is it a fruit?
Zing! Got you there. Oh, it's probably racist for me to mention Ikea, but there we go.
Ikea.
Number 8. There is evidence to suggest that people have been living in what is now known as Sweden since as early as 12,000 BC.
Whoa.
But Sweden first emerged as an independent state much later on during the early 12th century.
The Viking.
In the year 1280, King Magnus Lagdalus issued a statute which established a nobility and granted them numerous rights and privileges, including freedom from taxation. Oh dear, typical posh boy.
They should bring this back.
Loads of money.
What? What?
Number 9.
So, yeah.
A couple of centuries
True.
later, the population of Sweden was decimated by the Black Death. Which killed
Black
2/3 of the Swedish population.
2/3
At this
is
point, Scandinavia's
crazy.
culture, finances and languages came under threat from a powerful merchant association called the German Hanseatic League.
It was
In
not.
response,
It was not just in Sweden, by the way. The Black Plague, like it was like 800 years ago. It was so long ago.
I think
Crazy.
it's all over the world, no?
Kingdoms of
It was-
Sweden, Norway and Denmark
yeah,
joined
it's
together under a
crazy.
single monarch in 1397, creating what was
Oh.
known as the Kalmar Union.
I don't even know this
The
flag.
Kalmar Union lasted
Kalmar
almost
Union.
130
Kalmar?
years until Sweden
Kalmar
rage
Union.
quit in 1523, becoming a strong, independent country that don't need no man in a crown.
No
Number
man.
10. In 1630, Sweden decided to get involved in the religious conflict known as the 30 Years' War, which had already been raging for years.
Oh my
The
God,
Swedish
the people
involvement
were
snapped
hanging from the
Protestant
tree
side
or
a victory
something.
from the Catholic jaws of defeat, and resulted in a significant decline of Catholicism in Northern Europe. At this point, Sweden...
I'm happy to say that people in Sweden, you keep telling us that you don't really care about religion. See what religion has done to your country back then. So I'm
think-
atheist myself. So
Every country, though.
yeah,
solidified
every
its
country
position
like
from the great powers of Europe, which lasted for hundreds of years after. Cifra 11. In the year 1658, oh, remember that, what a great year it was, the sea between Sweden and Denmark froze over so completely that 9,000 Swedish soldiers and their horses literally walked across frozen water and besieged Copenhagen.
Whoa. They
Number
walk
12.
on the lake, it was so cold.
Unfortunately for the Swedes, during the 18th and 19th centuries, Sweden began to lose many of their territories outside the Scandinavian peninsula, culminating in the annexation of what is now Finland by Russia in 1809. Oh, poor Finns. Number 13. The last war in which Sweden was directly involved flared up in 1814,
Wow.
when Denmark was forced to cough up Norway, which was
Last
forced into
war.
a union with Sweden which lasted until 1905, at which point it was peacefully dissolved. The union, not the country. Since 1841,
But now that Sweden has joined NATO recently,
Yes.
I don't know if he's gonna make a new video saying that now Sweden is intervention in
Sweden
a lot
maintained
of
an
the
official
thing going
policy of
on right now.
neutrality in foreign affairs, meaning that it's been at peace for over 200 years, even throughout both world wars. Number 14. That being said, although Sweden was officially neutral in both World War I and II, the country did engage in humanitarian efforts. During the Second World War, Sweden took in refugees from German-occupied Europe, including almost all of Denmark's Jews, who Hitler, and I'm going to say it, that dick, had ordered to be arrested and deported to concentration camps. However, Sweden also allowed the Nazis to use their railways to transport arms and troops and traded with Germany throughout World War II, so it's a bit of a mixed bag of should we help the Nazis or not? Number 15. Between the 1850s to the 1930s, roughly 1.5 million Swedish people emigrated to North America. The population of Sweden in that period was never more than 3.5 million.
Damn.
Did you
A
guys
lot.
come from Canada too? Because I'm from Canada and I don't know really a Swedish diaspora in Canada. We saw it with the Peter Joback, Gold Turned into Sand, the song from Christina Van Duver, the theater play.
Yeah, they talk
you guys
about-
went to America.
Yeah.
So that's really saying something. Most America-bound Swedes ended up in Minnesota, where the American-Swedish
Yes.
Institute is located in the state capital of
Christina Van,
Minneapolis.
the play.
16. After the Cold War ended, Sweden joined the European Union on the 1st of January 1995, but also chose not to adopt the euro and also declined NATO membership.
Well,
those rebels.
that's changed now.
Number
The video was
17.
old.
Sweden is home to over 95,000 lakes larger than 100
Whoa.
square meters. That's over 9.5 million square meters of lake, people. I'm trying to make this sound impressive, but I
Lake.
genuinely have no idea.
We have
how
a lot
much
in
lake
Canada
is a lot
too,
of lake.
obviously, but
Like, number 18. The Åland Islands, an archipelago located at the entrance of the Gulf
Åland.
of Bothnia, are officially part of Finland, but
Oh.
are home to a Swedish-speaking minority who have their own government, flag and culture. Number 19. Because of its proximity to the Arctic Circle, Sweden regularly experiences long, dark winters, which can lead to some of its citizens to suffer from seasonal affective disorder. As such, some
really?
bus stops...
wait, what?
I think it's gonna
Which
be
can
like
li-
this.
In Canada, when it gets too cold, we call that seasonal depression for people that get depressed only in the winter.
Actually, I really don't like air like this. You know,
No?
the cloud, no sun, nothing. I feel depressed too. So I'm not even sure that I'm gonna be able to survive that. I feel sad, lonely, like I don't know. It's so like sad.
lead to some of its citizens to suffer from seasonal affective disorder. As such, some bus stops in Sweden have been fitted with phototherapy lights to combat the effect of barely seeing the sun for months on end.
This is true, by the way.
Number 20. Sweden's northernmost town is Kiruna and is located
Kiruna.
well within the Arctic Circle. The town is so far north, in fact, it does this really mental thing where the sun does not set at all certain times of the year,
Whoa.
and subsequently doesn't rise at all for most of December.
You
Number
know, the
21.
difference between Sweden and Canada is that in Canada, when you go very up in altitude, nobody lived there. The First Nation lived there, actually, indigenous people, but it's like town of like 100,000 people maximum living there.
The Eskimo.
Yeah, and the First Nation and the indigenous people, they are the one living the equivalent of Sweden in north. Most people don't, we all live near the US border because it's too cold as we get up, and we have a lot of land, so we don't have to go up to find more land, you know, to live.
Nowadays, Sweden is renowned for its Nordic social welfare system. Swedish citizens enjoy universal healthcare and university education entirely free of charge at point of use. Wow, that's good. I like that a lot. However, this comes at the price of high taxes. And with a tax rate of over 50% of GDP, Swedish people are among the most highly taxed in the world. However, most Swedes seem to be fairly happy with the situation. In fact, the Swedish word for tax is skatt, which doesn't mean anything filthy. It means treasure. Number 23.
Listen, I think everyone is for high tax if it go to the right thing, right?
Yes.
In Canada, we don't have free education, but we have free healthcare. But then we need to wait like 8 hours in line. Or I waited 4 years to have my cornea transplant. It was free. It was $20,000, but I had for free. But the downside is that I had to wait 4 years. So having free healthcare, if you have to wait forever, it's kind of a downer. I mean, I guess it depends. I don't know about Sweden, but
Since 1901, the Nobel Prizes have been awarded every year in Sweden to honour excellence in various fields, with modern categories including physics, medicine, literature, peace, and YouTube fact videos. I hope to about this year. As of last year, almost 585 prizes have been awarded to 923 people and organisations.
Wow, Eden.
Number 24.
Okay.
In case you didn't know, the Nobel Prizes are the legacy of Alfred Nobel, who left a massive amount of money in his will to the establishment of the Nobel Prize.
he was Sweden.
Oh, and also he invented dynamite in 1866, so well done, Alfred. I don't know what that coyote from Looney Tunes would do without you. Number 25. Sweden has managed to accrue 7 Nobel Prizes for literature, including the first woman to win the prize, Selma Lagerlöf, who won in 1909.
Oh.
Mårbacka, a large mansion in west central Sweden, has a national shrine and memorial to Lagerlöf. Number
Whoa.
26. But it's not just writing that Swedes have done good at. A number of important inventions and innovations are Swedish in origin. The pacemaker, the refrigerator, the ultrasound, the astronomical lens and computer mouse were invented in Sweden or by Swedes living abroad.
Wow, well, look at that
Without
mouse.
Swedes, you wouldn't be able to see your baby and paste it all over Facebook. Oh, I'm having a baby. Yeah, we get it, Chan.
The refrigerator, I
27.
didn't know that.
To date, Sweden has won 636.5 Olympic medals in total. The half a medal, which you may be thinking, about, is due to the fact that at the 1900 Olympics in Paris, Sweden competed alongside Denmark in a tug-of-war with France, and Sweden-Mark won the gold. Number 28. Of course, no discussion about Sweden would be complete without mentioning everyone's favourite international sensation, that is Ikea. Did you know that everyone's favourite purveyor of Scandi design also sells roughly 1,836,000
We have a lot of
meatballs
Ikea in
across the
Canada.
globe every single day? No?
Oh,
Well, you
yeah,
do
true.
now. Do with that information as you wish. Eat it up like a meatball. Number 29. In 2006, Ikea opened up a store in Haparanda, a municipality in Sweden, in the most northerly county of Norrbotten, making it the northernmost Ikea in the world.
Oh.
Temperatures there regularly drop to minus double digits during the winter. So I think I'll just go to the one in Croydon, thanks very much. Number 30. Speaking of Haparanda, the town is so close to the Finnish town of Tornio that they share the same post office with 2 separate phone lines, one for calls to Sweden and one for calls to Finland. Number
This
31.
is something about Europe. When you have something you have border, you don't even know that you crossed to another country because because you have the your passport can be valid in all the European Union country. As a Canadian, when I want to go to the US, I need to pass immigration. Can take an hour. It's a reality that when Suji and I go to Europe, we're gonna probably be shocked by this.
Are you not gonna be like unhappy if another country
No.
not as good as Canada enter?
No. Me, I'm for open border. I'm for no passport. I would remove passport from the surface of the earth. Long time ago, there was no passport. Nobody had a passport.
Okay.
I know Suji has a problem with immigration, so she.
Similarly, there's a
Jeez.
golf club on the border of Sweden and Finland with half the holes in one country and half in the other. You probably have to bring a passport to go. Oh, security would be awful, wouldn't it?
No,
Number
you don't need
32.
a passport.
The 3-point seatbelt is also a Swedish invention too.
Oh, yeah, the
and is said
seatbelt.
to have saved 1 million lives. It was first introduced in 1959 by Volvo, and today are found in billions of vehicles worldwide.
And we saw another video that the founder of the 3-point seatbelt, he gave away his patent. He didn't want to profit from it, so.
Yeah, that's
Number
amazing.
33.
Just for us to be
The world's largest scale model of the solar system can be found in Sweden.
Oh.
The sun is represented by
Whoa.
the Ericsson globe, with the models of various planets, celestial bodies and solar features dotted around the country at a maximum distance of 950 kilometers across. And yet the model has a scale roughly 1 to 20 million.
beautiful.
Wow. Space really is huge. We could have a video about space. What? We already do? What a coincidence. Watch it after this one. Number 34.
Oh, this guy
Possibly
is so
Sweden's
good.
most celebrated scientist is Carl Linnaeus, who was born in the countryside of Småland in southern Sweden in 1707. Linnaeus is best known for creating the formal system of naming organisms known to bionormal
Wait, I don't even know him.
classification,
Or maybe
which
he pronounced the
enables
name
all plants
so
and animals to
badly
be
that-
consistently named and classified, which, you know, is helpful in science.
And they look the same
Linnaeus
back
himself
then.
created
I
the
don't
term
know him.
Homo sapiens, so in a way, he named all of us. He also called you a homo, so you gonna take that, are you? No, actually, that's pretty good. Number 35. Sweden's Uppsala University has in its possession a famous 4th century Bible, known as the Silver Bible.
Uppsala.
which
Why
is
does it sound Finnish? Uppsala.
considered by many to be one of the world's most valuable books. The Silver Bible is an incomplete
Whoa.
version of the New Testament written in ancient Gothic language using silver and gold ink. It's pretty much the most blinged and pimped out Bible you'll ever come across. Blood? Oh, why did I say blood at the end? I ruined it. Number 36. One of history's most popular video games,
Minecraft.
world building simulator Minecraft, was created by Swedish programmer Marcus
know.
Again?
as a one-man passion project. First released in 2011,
Oh.
the game has since sold more than 144 million copies, making it the second best-selling game of all time after
Tetris.
Tetris.
Yeah.
Tax Sweden.
Wow. He created the game
Again.
alone at the beginning.
Yeah.
I think he sold the game later on also. He made
Number
a lot of money.
37.
Yeah.
The Swedes are also behind the
Oh.
uber-popular freemium
Again?
mobile game
Candy Crush.
Swedish game is
This is my mom's favorite game. You know, everyone who don't play video game, right? The old auntie, if you want, they all know about Candy Crush.
Yeah.
It's like the old people that don't know anything about game, they all know about
It's
Candy
addicted
Crush.
though.
has had their game downloaded almost 500 million times, and in 2013, the game generated a staggering $1.5 billion in sales. That's 11.8 billion
From buying
Swedish
things in the
krona.
game, you know, that's a good
Number
strategy.
38. You can also thank Sweden for its massive contribution to the world of music in the
Oh,
form
yeah.
of one band, Bass Hunter. Oh,
ABBA.
no, sorry, I mean ABBA. The group has sold over 375 million records worldwide, which,
Jesus.
depending on who you ask, makes them the third or fourth best-selling music act in
Hey.
history.
The thing about ABBA that you told us is that they were much more popular overseas than in
Sweden.
Sweden. We have reacted to them, and you told us that. For me, ABBA is like, it was massive in Canada, in the radio all the time. Maybe because they were singing in English, that they were not as popular in Sweden. I had no idea before you tell us, so it was interesting to know.
Fact that is, does your mother know? Oh, okay. Number 39. ABBA are remembered even today for not only their extensive catalogue of bangers, but also the ridiculous outfits they wore during their spectacular live
Ridiculous?
performances.
Oh,
the
the
members
outfit.
of ABBA have since revealed they wore these wacky costumes primarily to avoid Sweden's taxes, which allowed deductions for clothing if it wasn't meant for everyday use. That's the name of the game. ABBA's...
They avoid paying taxes by wearing clothes, so it's like a business expense? I'm not sure I understand. You need to tell me. It's smart. I don't know if it's a business expense, something like this.
Number 40.
That's what we call it in
The
Canada. I
capital
don't
of
know.
Sweden is Stockholm, a city
Stockholm.
built on 12 islands and over 50 bridges, leading it to being given the nickname the Venice of the North.
It's so
To
beautiful.
be fair, basically anywhere with enough water gets that nickname. Can you all the people from Birmingham saying, oh, we have more canals than Venice? No one cares, Birmingham, alright? Number 41. Stockholm is also home to Skansen, the world's first open-air
Skansen?
museum, opened all the way back in 1891. Skansen depicts examples of Swedish rural life from various time periods between the 16th century and 20th century, and attracts more than 1.3 million visitors each year.
Whoa, I don't know about that.
Meaningen.
Interesting.
Believe it.
Oh.
In an attempt to make obeying the speed limit fun, which is possibly the most boring string of words I could have ever uttered, Stockholm tested a speed camera lottery which automatically entered speed limit abiding drivers into a prize pool funded by the fines paid by those caught speeding. Ah, karma's gonna get ya. Number 43. One interesting Stockholm phenomenon is the tradition of the Flogsta Scream, in which the denizens of Flogsta, a residential area in Stockholm, stick their heads out of windows at 10 p.m. every Tuesday and scream their little Swedish lungs out for several minutes.
What?
This is done to relieve the stress caused by university exams, although
Oh,
that
really?
sounds like it causes more stress than it
Do
solves.
you guys do that?
Number 44. Stockholm is renowned for its colourful art-covered metro stations. More
Oh,
than 90
yeah,
of
we
the
saw
100
this.
stations have been covered in mosaics, paintings, sculptures and carvings, meaning it's been dubbed the world's longest art gallery.
So interesting.
Number 45. Greta Garbo, you know, the legendary Hollywood actress and Swede, which is why we mentioned her, had her first job as a sales assistant in the hat section of the pub department store at the Hotoket City Square in Stockholm.
Whoa.
She later starred in over 30 films and spent most of her life in the US before dying in New York
I
City
don't
in
know her.
1990, like one classy bee. I hope I die in NYC. Or Norwich, whichever's
You're wearing
easiest.
hat. in
Number
every
46. Stockholm also boasts the largest hemispherical building in the world. Known as the Ericsson Globe, which we mentioned earlier, the building stands
I'm gonna be honest, this look ugly from the outside.
picture. Why I think it look like in another space.
Yeah, it
proudly
doesn't
at
look
85
pretty,
meters
but I'm
high,
sure it
with
is
a diameter
inside.
of 110
Good
meters.
though.
Hey,
Number 47.
Wait a second.
5 meters high.
that's the Colorado Avalanche and the Ottawa Senators. You play ice hockey there? This was a global series, Sweden 2017. I don't remember it, but this is ice hockey.
With a diameter of 110 meters. Number 47. Stockholm also has an entire museum dedicated to ABBA,
ABBA,
which I've
whoa.
been to actually, which allows visitors to gaze upon all manner of ABBA memorabilia, such as the band's numerous gold records and aforementioned wacky wardrobe pieces.
Oh, but don't forget,
The stated gold
today is the 50th anniversary. They're gonna be in Malmo, the Eurovision, and ABBA will probably perform, because they made some kind of comeback recently.
of the
Today?
museum is to let the patrons experience the feeling of being the fifth member of ABBA, which it facilitates by allowing you to get on stage with sophisticated holograms of the band. I nearly did that as well, but my girlfriend told me not to. Number 48. Northern Sweden is home to the indigenous Sami people, whose ancestral homeland, Sapmi, known in English as Lapland,
Sami.
stretches over the top of the Scandinavian peninsula, across Norway, Sweden, Finland and even Russia. Sweden
Whoa.
specifically has around 20,000 Sami people, who even have had their own parliament. Number 49. Famous people with Sami ancestry include actress Renee Zellweger and singer Joni Mitchell.
Oh, really?
Talented bunch,
Renée
apparently.
Zellweger.
Number 50. The Sami people are also known for their joiks. No, I didn't just slip on something when I said that last word. Joiks are a form of traditional Sami song that are meant to evoke the essence of something, such as a person, a place or event. Though the tradition has existed for a very
Wow, this reminds me, I don't remember the name of this, from in Canada, the Aboriginal living north of Canada, and usually these people don't have the same rules as the normal population because they have their own land, and which we stole from, and I'm sure it's the same in every country, so they are kind of, they do their own thing and they are kind of left alone of the traditional law. They have their own autonomy if we want,
long time. Nowadays, joiks have been brought to the mainstream, with them even being performed on Sweden's Got
Oh, I know
Talent.
him.
Number 51.
This guy, he almost qualified for Eurovision. He was amazing. John Henrik something amazing. And we're gonna finish here part 1. So